Welcome to the Dug in a Pub podcast, where I share thoughts, stories, and conversations about my life and my journey post-suicide attempt.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
So pull up a stool and let's see if we can change the world.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
So before we start this episode, I just want to let you know this one gets a little intense. I talk about kind of the mindset and the process I went through between the time my wife told me the marriage was over and the time I lay down on my office floor after trying to overdose. So I just want to let you know this one gets a little intense, but thanks for listening. When I last left off, my former wife had just told me the marriage is over, and before I recorded this one, I was texting with her and trying to get some of the timings down. And I said, so when did you actually tell me it was over? I was trying to find out what the date was. And she said, well, I told you in February of 2010, and apparently I completely missed that one. She told me again in September, and I completely missed that one. But the one that stuck was the one in November, and we think it was November either 7th or 14th. It was a Sunday, that we know. But yeah, as I've stated, after she told me that she told me in February and September, I apologize for not hearing, for not listening, for not being present enough to understand what she was saying to me. But when she did tell me in November, and we'll go with November 14th, because I think that's when it was. It was about a month before I made the attempt. So, yeah, she told me. I went downstairs, made dinner for the kids. She left. I know the next day I had to drive up to Two Rivers, Wisconsin, about a 2-hour drive for work. And yeah, I was in a daze. I was just beside myself. I couldn't concentrate, couldn't think. I think I went home that day. I did a lot of crying, a lot of, gnashing of my teeth and wailing and, woe is me, why is this happening? All the things you'd expect when you find out your marriage is ending. Yeah, I couldn't deal with it, of course. I started drinking a lot. I mean, I drank the big bottle of the big bottle of Captain Morgan's, so it's about the 1.75. I was drinking one of those a week at that point, shortly after she told me. And then the week after she told me on my birthday, so she told me a week before my 44th birthday, we went to, at the time, my mother-in-law's house to go watch the Packers and celebrate my birthday. And we walk in, and we hadn't told any family yet. We said we weren't going to tell people until we were ready. So I was like, yeah, whatever. So we get to my mother-in-law's house. No, my brother-in-law's house. So it was at my brother-in-law Ted's house. And I knew he had his booze in the basement. So we got to his house, and I said, I'm going to go get drunk. So I went downstairs, and yeah, I just started drinking. I made sure she knew she was going to have to drive home. At one point, my former wife's sister came downstairs and gave me a birthday present because it was my birthday. Yay. Yeah, I was not in the right headspace for that event at all. She gave me a present, had like a baby doll in it, and she was announcing that she was pregnant. I'm like, oh my God, she's stealing my thunder. It's my birthday. I found out my wife is leaving me and you're pregnant. So yeah, and then honestly, between then, I don't know when I actually made the decision that I was going to kill myself. It's one of the reasons I've been going back and trying to figure it out is what was that decision point? But honestly, I was drinking so much that most of my memories, I don't think, stuck during that time period. I do know that once I made the decision, which was probably shortly after my birthday, is when I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to kill myself. I had a $500,000 insurance policy, which paid out in the event of suicide. I checked. Then killing the kids would have money, and they wouldn't have to worry about me. I wouldn't have to worry about me. They'd be set. They'd be square. There wouldn't be a messy divorce for her and the kids to go through. I was wildly unhappy in my life in general. So I wouldn't have to learn how to get past all this shit and deal with it. And, it was just like, if I just do this, it's done. They get money. They can move on. They'll be covered for like college and bills and awesome and I won't have to deal with any of this shit. Nobody will have to deal with me being all morose and woe is me and nobody loves me and all that crap. At that point, I didn't have any idea how to move past. I didn't know how to. So plan A was commit suicide. Plan B was, figure out how to move on with my life and reinvent myself. But at this point in my thinking, plan B wasn't even an option. I was in a hole. It was dark, and nobody knew I was in that much of a hole. I know Kelly had worried about and talked to other people about if she told me she wanted to leave me, that I might hurt myself. And like I've said before, she was right. But again, not her fault. Nothing to do with her. I have no blame on her at all. She was doing what she needed to do. The night before I did it, I went to a party at a friend's house, drank way too much. That's when I learned to have vodka with a pickleback. Very, very tasty. Had some really good Russian hors d'oeuvres. Great time. Really laughed. Just really enjoyed myself. But at this point, I had relaxed into the I'm going to kill myself. So that was like a comfort zone now. Because now I knew I had a plan. This was going to happen on this date. And I'm just killing time now. And I think that's one thing, people have asked me, what should I have noticed? What should I have seen? Is there anything I could have done? And for the most part, no, there's nothing unless you lock somebody in a room, if they want to do it, they're going to find a way. But I think the difference people could have seen in me was that all of a sudden I went from being really morose and quiet and dour to being more upbeat and more, just, yeah, whatever, man, yeah, cool, yeah, that's great, yeah, awesome, woo. Because I had a plan and I knew it was going to end and there was an end date that I could relax, which is really stupid. Why not just go with that feeling and stay there? But I didn't know how. Had I stepped back a little bit more, I think I could have gotten there without having made the attempt on my life. So yeah, I went to a party. As I said, had a really good time. The next night, I believe there was going to be a snowstorm. Kelly was going to go stay at a friend's house that night, and I had purchased a 1 liter bottle of Maker's Mark. I had purchased a brand new bottle of 100, I think it was 100 extra strength Tylenol. Hung out with the kids. Not sure what we ate for dinner, but we watched Despicable Me, and I started just drinking Maker's Mark by the glass. Put the kids to bed. I had an home office at the time, so I went downstairs in my home office, put on my comfy pajamas. We had a yoga mat, or like a exercise mat, put that down, put my iPod in with my external speakers, put it on shuffle, just about finished the bottle of Maker's Mark. I took 2 handfuls of extra strength Tylenol. If I remember right, I think I took 98 of them. Because I think it was 98 extra strength Tylenol. Because it was like 47,000 milligrams or something. Then I also took all my antidepressants, laid down on the mat, my office, and locked the door. Figured that's where they'd find me. I really didn't think about the effect that would have on who found me. I didn't. When you're in that spot, you don't think past those moments. You don't think, what about? The only thing I did think about while I was lying there before I passed out or fell asleep was, okay, what happens if I wake up? What happens if this doesn't work? I need to have, because of the way my brain worked, I need to have a plan of what to do if I woke up. Like, well, if I wake up, I'm not going to be embarrassed because I did a thing. And I am going to figure out who I am, figure out who I want to be, and move forward. Now, ideally, I would have just made that decision and done it. I wish I could have figured out how to do that. I wish I would have known the right self-talk, the right bit of therapy, the right quote, the right whatever that one tiny thing might have been, that instead of making the attempt, I would have just made the switch from plan A to plan B. But honestly, I wish I could remember more of my mindset. And I've been trying to think about, that's one of the reasons this was so delayed. I was trying to get my brain back in that mindset of where I was before I tried to kill myself, so I could try to explain it. Because, people have asked me, what was it like and how did it feel? And was drunk. I don't know. I was drunk from November 14th till December 10th. I was pretty much drunk. So yeah, I can't tell what my mindset was, but yeah, there was at some point in there I made that switch to I'm going to do it, and that was early on. I think that was probably before Thanksgiving that year, so right after my birthday. Yeah, I lay down on my office floor and I went to sleep. Thank you for listening to this episode. Next episode, we'll cover what happened after I woke up and how I've started to move my life forward. So thank you.